Toastmaster of the day. I'm standing before you discussing about this topic, be a sport, take a sport, but like Rao mentioned, it is something which is personal to me. I'm not even 29, and I feel that at my age, the fitness level that I have is much lesser than an actual 29-year-old should have. That is the reason why this year I've at least ensured that I take up some sport that could be anything, but it could be any physical sport that makes you sweat. For me, I started off with running, with jogging. You must have heard this topic multiple times from everybody, with your colleagues, with your friends, that why don't you go to gym, or why don't you run, or why don't you take up a sport? But nobody has really discussed as to why should that be done. Why? As in, just so that you feel thin, you feel light, you feel fit? Is that the only reason? No, I don't think so. So here I am talking about that, as to why should anybody take up a physical sport, and why are we discussing about that? For me, these are the three areas that I'm going to stress upon: body, mind, spirit. I'll go into the detail for each of them as to why any sport should be taken. First, let's go with body. Taking any sport helps you sweat. Sweat does not mean it'll make you feel light. Sweat means it'll help you detox. Detox out all the chemicals, all the toxic chemicals which you have in your body. It'll help you move out. What happens with that? It helps to improve your skin. Your skin becomes much more radiant. How about taking up a sport makes you feel agile? That does not mean that you will run faster. No. What I mean by that is you will feel less lazy. You will feel more active. Of course, I've also mentioned taking up a sport makes you feel fitter and stronger. That goes without saying, because when you start moving your hands and legs around, when you start using your muscles, you already feel that yes, you're making your body do some work, and you start feeling a bit more fitter. But the last thing of body which remains close to me is you will have a body to show in the beach. To me, I feel ridiculous when I'm sitting with a t-shirt and I see somebody who's half naked with a six-pack running around the beach and has no bother about it, because he has that confidence and he has that body to show that. I feel envious, but I feel inspired as well, that one day, maybe if not a six-pack, but at least a lean body will be there with me. But that's the body part of it. Let's move on to the mind. Sport, along with fitness, teaches you one thing, which is discipline. It's been since school, you guys must have had your play periods. How many of you have missed play periods? Never. I have never, because I would rather be 5 minutes late to go to a subject, but I will never be late for missing any 1 minute of my game. That's a discipline. That's discipline that you even show to today by default. That comes into mind. Oh, I have to attend this gym class. Oh, I have to attend this sport. Oh, I have booked this table for playing badminton or playing table tennis, whatever. That is something that comes in by default, and that is something that will bring forward in your work life as well. A great boxer, everybody of you know Muhammad Ali, once said, it doesn't matter whether you are knocked down, it matters when you get up. That is attitude, and that's what sport brings. Attitude and confidence. A confidence to do that you can do things right, because every day a sport that you take, you challenge yourself to do something. Today, say suppose I am doing running, I have challenged myself that I will run 3 kilometers today. I've completed the challenge just last week. Now I challenge myself that I'll run 4 kilometers, and that's what I'm striving for. And that's a confidence in me that yes, maybe one day or the next day or the next day, I'll definitely finish it. I'll do that. I mentioned about agility, but I would also say from a mind perspective, it helps your reaction time. You start thinking fast. You become lightning quick in making your decisions. You're frank, and you're very decisive. Last but not the least, it gives you direction. It gives you an idea. When the same way how you plan, for example, all of you over here know cricket. You have a target of 300 runs. You plan. It gives you a direction on how to chase down the target. Similarly, it gives you an idea on how to chase down your life's goals. I've mentioned about body, I've mentioned about mind, but the most important of all is spirit. Sport gives you an arena where you talk outside of your colleagues. So your networking or your social life improves. You get to meet more people, you get to know more about others. That is something that helps. Even networking always helps in your life, so yes. It helps you in your teamwork, not only just in sport, but in your work life as well. I mentioned about confidence, I mentioned about sharp, agile body, but that is something which I feel makes somebody more attractive towards the opposite sex. That is a fact. It's not me saying, it's a research. If you're more fit, you're more strong, you're more confident, you have a very good love life, and that's a fact, because your partner is definitely more attracted to you, seeing you in all these facets of life, improving. You look at pushing boundaries, you look at going ahead, meeting up, not only just meeting the goals but beating them. And last but not the least, I feel that you don't fear competition, because you compete with anybody every day. In the work, you might feel, oh, this guy is doing good, he might get a promotion tomorrow. But in sport, you always have that feeling, I have to beat this guy, whatever happens. He might be good, but I am better. And that's the thinking that brings upon in your other facets of life as well. I must have said all this, but end of the day, I would just like to mention that I've been reading about play harder, but it's about the games and play that makes you fit and strong. Thank you.